What's up, guys? I'm back, sort of. Sorry, been busy. I've seen a couple of requests for tutorial on how to add the floor plan, like the second floor plan. So this was the first part. Basically, what we ended up with was we could show a floor plan, but it was just one floor. So now I'm gonna show you how we can come up with the two floors like this one, where I'm switching from a different floor plan. Okay, so yeah, let's start. I'm just hide face again. Hide this one. Um, so yeah, this was where we left off. Basically, you can go to one scene, but the floor plan doesn't change. First thing we need to do, so I put the floor plan already. So this was the initial one, so I added this one in the skin folder. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the part where I declared the floor plan, which was here. So basically, I have a floor plan image which has the dots, these two dots. So I'm gonna create another one here. I'm basically gonna duplicate this, but move the other dot to this part here. So, and this is gonna become dash 2f, and we're gonna have to change the name. So, I'm gonna call it 2f underscore image. What's gonna happen is this is gonna go over on top of this. So if we refresh, so we can see it here. So initially we're gonna have to hide it. We add alpha 0, and if we do this, we no longer see it, but it's still clickable. So I'm basically clicking on it, that's why it's not working. So I need to add enabled false. Oh, sorry, it's already here. So yeah, nothing happens right now. So what you do next is basically we need to find a way to switch between those two when loading a scene. If you look at the Vitor skin, you will find a skin load scene. So this is basically what's called whenever you load a new skin. So if you look for this in tour.xml, well, right now it's only me calling, but you can actually change this part here. So load scene is the default of Krpano. We can actually change this, and it's basically the same, I believe. Let's try it. Yeah, you won't notice any difference, but this time this one is being called, which also just calls load scene. If you can see here, this is once being called here before. So it's basically the same. It just runs a few other code before it starts. What we're gonna do is we're gonna call another action or function from here, and I'm gonna call it skin load floor plan, and then we're gonna pass the new scene or name or index to it. So here, and I'm gonna create here below. So I'm gonna just test if it works. So what happens now, every time we load a new scene, that should be called. Yeah, it's calling this one. Let's just, there's another trace. I'm just gonna remove it. Where's that coming from? This one. I'm just gonna remove it for now. So it's calling that code. What I'm gonna add now is I am going to add I'm gonna add a code here to indicate which floor the scene is. So basically, so this is a scene, right? This group here. You can practically add anything here, like, I don't know, floor area equals 100 or whatever. So you can, it doesn't have to be in the documentation. Like, you can add your own attributes and get the values later. So here we're gonna add the floor. So just to know what floor it is in. So right now this is gonna be floor 1 and this is gonna be floor 2. So let's say you had more floors, then you can add floor 3, etc, etc. Heading, yeah, you need to set this to a number or else you'll see an error later. So this has to just put 0 for now. So what do we do with that? So basically, wait, I also added a custom array. Let me just, I actually have another window where my cheat sheet is, because I basically done this before already. I added this. So in Krpano, you can add your own like elements in the XML. Call it anything you like, and you can grab the values later. So I added these floors, which basically just contains the value of the floor and the target layer. So target layer is basically this guys here, this one and this one. So I don't want to rename it anymore because I might destroy something. So but maybe you should call it 1f underscore image, but because I already have my code prepared here on my other screen, so I'm not gonna do anything with that anymore. So basically add that. Basically I keep saying basically. And saying so you have a target layer. So basically floor plan 1 is, we'll call this image later. And I tried 1 here and 2. It won't work because Krpano will complain that you can't add a name that is just a number. So I just added F. So we have that. And here, yeah, the floor. Actually here, I started changing the names because of the dots. Because I'm gonna do later something in the code. So before the dot, these are the dots. I called it dot living and dot bedroom. So I changed it so that it reflects the name of the scene. Just so, for example, I hope I'm not being confusing. So this becomes dot scene underscore 1, and this one becomes dot scene underscore 2. I did this because later I just wanna append the dot in front of it, and I don't wanna, even if I didn't know the name of the dot, I know that if I'm in the scene 2, the equivalent dot name is dot underscore scene 2. So that's basically what the change was for. So I changed this to dot scene 1 dot scene 2. Okay, so now we have those. Let's see. This should still work. So basically, nothing happened. Nothing new happened. This should still work. Okay. What we're gonna do now is write the code that um, does something with those things that we just did. Okay, so we call this, right? I'm just gonna erase that for now. What we're gonna do now is we are gonna get this value floor from the scene. We want to know what floor the current scene is. So whenever skin load scene is called, we're gonna call this first. So at this point, the new scene hasn't loaded yet because that happens here. This is where the actual load scene happens. So at this point, we know what the new scene. This is either a number or the name of the scene. So let's say you're gonna load scene 1. I mean this bedroom. This is index 1 in terms of the scenes. This is index 0. Let me trace so you understand. We want to see what this value is every time we click. So it's scene 1, it's scene 2. So that's what's being passed here. So we're also passing that here in skin. So if I copy this, put it here, and do a %1, that's the same. So we're passing it to, oh sorry, this should be get. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're passing it here on the next action. What we want to get now is what floor the current scene is and what the next scene floor will be. Sorry if this is really confusing. So just gonna copy some code from my cheat sheet. So what this does, so I created a variable called floor, and I'm gonna, because this %1 here is either scene 1 or scene 2, I am gonna get the floor attribute. So if we do a trace here now, I should get 1 or 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this could be like second floor or first floor, but I prefer to use a number. So we know now that it's switching to a second floor, right? So let's just return that. What do we do with that? So we just do some minor checking. So if floor is not null, because there might be a case where doesn't belong to any floor. So this is the, if it's not null, this code, this part here is gonna be executed. If it's null, it's this part here. So what we're gonna do, well actually in our case this won't be executed, but if floor is null, meaning it's not existent, we're just gonna hide the floor plan, and to do that, this is the code for that. So that's just, sorry, copy paste. So what did we do? So we have a variable, the floor plan width, which we got from here, which is already here somewhere. So this is the floor plans container. It has a width, right, 300. So basically just getting the width. So this is 300, and we're multiplying it by -1 because we want to move the x value to -300. So let's try that. So let's say floor scene 1 doesn't have a floor. Oh my god, the scroll wheel is not working. Sublime is weird sometimes. I don't know why it does that. just closed and opened it back again. Okay, it's working now. So let's say the floor is non-existent. What's gonna happen is it should close that. You see what happened there? So the code detected that the floor was null, so it executed this code. Okay, so we know that it closes. So I'm just gonna return it. So yeah, basically this is a tween. We tweened the floor plan containers x value to negative 300. So I think this is gonna be the same. So let's say I erase this. It should be the same. Oh, why did not the work? Oh, because I returned this. So it's the same. Basically, this negative 300 here was just computed. So if you do a trace here, that's just negative 300. See, negative 300. So yeah, that's basically this code here moves it by negative 300. So not right now what we're gonna do is we want to get the state. So if you remember from the previous tutorial, the floor plans had the state. It's either maximized or minimized, right? State, it's yeah, minimized or maximized. Maximize is the big version. Oh wait, what did I do now? Return floor. So this is maximized, this is minimized, maximized, minimized. We want to get the state. Well, actually, I'm looking at my code now. It doesn't matter that much. Probably gonna ignore it for now. So what we do is we want to get the current floor plan and the next floor plan. So if they don't match, we're gonna show the second floor. So we are gonna create a variable called floor current, which reflects the current floor of the scene, the scene of the floor of the current scene. So to do that, scene, and then another get here, and another XML dot scene dot floor. Yeah, I know this is really confusing. So basically, XML scene contains the index of the current scene. So this is just 0 or 1, and then we're using it to get the floor of that scene. So what we're gonna get is the current floor, the floor of the current scene. So this is for this case is 1 1 1 1 1. This is 2 2 2 2 2. Okay, and then we want to know the floor of the next scene we're switching to. So at this point, right, we haven't switched yet, but we know that %1 is the one we're switching to. So we're gonna use that here. So let's trace it again. Let's trace both. Floor next. So yeah, 1 going to 2, right? 2 going to 1. Oh, sorry. Let's add the separator so it's easier to see. 1 going to 1, 1 going to 2, 2 going to 2, 2 going to 2, 2 going to 1. So what we do now is we check if floor current is not equal to floor next. So we're gonna do some magic here. I mean, yeah. But if it's the same, what are we gonna do? Let me just if it's the same, what I did, oh wait, I got the heading first. I put the heading here. So this was what I was mention what I mentioned a while ago, that I want to know the spot, the dot that refers to the current scene. I mean, to represent the current scene. So I'm adding dot underscore and getting the scene name, which is either scene underscore one name, scene underscore one, or scene underscore two. Um, so regardless, I don't need to know the name. Uh, I hope you understand. I don't need to know what this is called, because I just need to know what scene it is. So basically, this is it. Um, Also, I'm getting the heading, because I need to move the heading to the heading of that scene. So heading is the where the radar is facing. So we know the spot name and the heading. So in the case where, so let's say you had two scenes in the ground floor. So basically, they have the same floor, right? So what's gonna happen is this part of the code is gonna get executed, this bottom part here. Well, actually, if you switch to, I mean, if you keep clicking on this gets executed. Let's try this. Trace. Same floor. Here will be not same floor, not the same floor. So, same floor, same floor, same floor, not the same floor, same floor, not the same floor. So I think you get how it works now, right? So every time it's not the same floor, we need to switch. But if it's the same floor, we just need to adjust, because there might be a case where I'm switching between two scenes on the same floor, and their headings and um, dot dot names are different. So just gonna copy this code here. So it's the same floor. What we're gonna do? Um, this might be useless. But this is just making sure that the floor plan appears. So floor plan name, where's floor plan name? Mm, where did I get this floor plan name? Yeah, actually, I think this is kinda useless now. Let me just erase that. Update radar, we had this in the previous tutorial. So it moves the radar, the radar's parent to the current dot. So we're moving the radar to the new spot and changing the heading. So that's what it does. So nothing happens if you do this. Okay, but um, do I need? So maybe I'm not sure if I should. I want to illustrate what's the use of this, but maybe later. So next, what we're gonna do. So here we're gonna put the code here that does the switching. I am gonna need to know what floor we are in and get the layer that we need to hide or show. So first thing we need to do, so if it's not the same floor, we're gonna have to hide everything. We hide all the floor plans and then show the current floor plan, if that makes sense. So this is the code. So what it does, so there's a loop here. It loops through the floors, custom floors array that I created. So it loops through floors here. It loops through here, checks the target layer's name, and hides it. So I started with 1 here. Counters, this usually starts at 0, right? I started with 1 because I made this to 1 and 2. But if I did this 0 or 1, I would change that as well. Because what I do is I also use this to reflect the floor of the current scene, right? Floor is 1. I hope I'm making sense. So we create a loop and we create a variable that appends f to the counter. So the counter is this becomes 1 or 2, right? Inside the loop. And we just append it. So the first loop f1, the second loop it becomes f2. So if we trace this, we're gonna see f1, f2. See f1, f2. Because our loop starts at 1 and the condition is if it's less than or equal to the floors count. So yeah, if I added floor here, then it's just gonna become floor 1, floor 2. See, floor 1, floor 2. And what we do with that is we're gonna use it. So yeah, disable layer doesn't exist. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this value here, the f1 or f2, to get the target layer and disable that layer. So I created a disable layer code for myself because I do it a lot. So I also have an enable layer. I'm gonna paste it here. So what does disable layer do? So disable layer, it makes the layer enabled is false, and it tweens the value of the alpha to 0. And when it's done, sets the visibility to false. So enable layer is the opposite. It turns it enabled to true, visible true, and tweens the alpha back to 1. So what's gonna happen here? Oh. Is this code here hides the floor plan. So right now what's gonna happen is the floor plan's gonna disappear. See? Because we hid it, but we didn't return we didn't enable the layer that reflects the current floor plan. So we're gonna add that now. To do that, we do this. I'm just gonna copy paste my existing code. So this is what I did for that. So this is just the width height of the target layer. So if you see target layer here, this just points to the floor plan image, which is here. Floor plan image, this one and this one. It has a width and height, right? So it's just getting the width height here because I am using it somewhere. Yeah, it's passing it to the container. Actually, this is kind of useless because in this case, my floor plans have the same width or height. Actually, let's see. Let's try to remove this for now to make the code simpler. Okay, what happens? Oh wait, this one, tween. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot a big bunch of code. Okay, so what did I do? So I got the floor plan width and multiplied it by -1. So I think you remember this. This is 300, right? This is equals to 300 and this becomes to -300. And then this just gets the floor plan name of the next, which is F1 or F2, right? And I get the target layer. From there, I can get the width height of the target layer. And here, what this does is it tweens the floor plan container X to the width, which is 300, and then updates the radar and enables the target layer. Let's just refresh. Okay, so what happened there? Just initially, so why is it hidden? Because so it's switching now. The problem now is why is it hidden here in the first place on first refresh? Let me just pause this and figure out what's causing that. So I figured it out. So remember we did this change. So instead of calling load scene, we called our own. I mean the default skin load scene. So I just returned the old one because what was happening was there is no current floor yet because we haven't really loaded any scenes. So in this case, yeah, this code doesn't run the first time. It only runs the second time. So the floor plan doesn't get hidden. So yeah, here's basically it. So it is switching between floors when it sees that the floors are not the same. So what we can do here is just as an example, we're gonna add another scene. Let's call it 1B. And this will be living room B, for example. And then we're gonna add another like radar. Because what we're gonna do is, what if there was two scenes on the ground floor? That's what I'm trying to show. So we're gonna add another scene here, and it's gonna be dot scene 1B. I'm just gonna, I don't know, try to make this 0, 0. I don't know what's gonna happen there. There, it's there. Maybe just try to move it a bit. So if we move to this scene, right, the floor plan doesn't change, but the radar changes because it knows it's still on the same floor. But what if we change scene 1B to floor 2? It's gonna switch, but there's gonna be no dot highlighted because it won't find dot there in the second floor. Oh, that's actually confusing. Oh yeah. So yeah. So it switched to the second floor, but the highlighted red dot is in the first floor. It was actually here. This one. Because our dot was in the first image. That was a handful. Uh, I hope you understand everything that I explained. Yeah, this is kind of complex. Yep, we're basically hiding the floor plan images and switching between them. Oop, oop, oop. So there. Oh yeah, it's still buggy. Uh, yeah, I think we can go from here. Just see what happens. Why it's not switching. That one, that's a timing issue. So if you click too fast, so because the tweens haven't finished yet, I think what you can do there is just make the transitions faster. Um, let's see, what can we do here? We can make it faster. Where's that tween? Um, so this the tween. For example, point one. That's gonna be fast, but whoop, that's too fast. Point three. Hmm. There's still a bug. What's causing that? I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna hide this for now. So what happens is when we switch the first time, it disappears. Let me pause a bit for a while and try to fix that. I'm back. So I don't know why I put this condition here before. So as you can see, it's becoming blank the first time. It's because I'm checking if floor plans containers exposition is 0. I don't know why I did that, but I did this for some reason. But if you remove this and this code here, so actually it's gonna become simpler. Move this back, and then that fixes it. I just don't remember why I did that. It maybe has something to do with the initial state. So anyway, so here's the full code. Mm, we'll try to put it somewhere where you can download it. Not sure where I can put that. Okay. Yeah, so this is the, I guess, final code. So yeah, basically we're checking floor, not save, and then yeah, getting the width height, setting it here. You don't really need to do a lot of things here because they're the same width height. You can even remove this. Still gonna work because I was just setting width height there. So yeah, it's much simpler now. So we're just basically enabling the layer and moving X to 0. So yeah, I hope I hope that makes sense. That was kind of long. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Thanks. Bye.